St. Bonaventure Catholic Church in Huntington Beach, California presents
Rebuilt and Renewed,
Bringing the Word Home.
Welcome back to Rebuilt and Renewed. I can't believe Advent is almost over and Christmas is right around the corner. We hope that these podcasts have been a way for you to dive deeper into the mystery of God, and we're so excited that they're going to be continuing on past Christmas as well. As we enter this final week of Advent, we're invited to reflect upon Mary, upon her fiat, upon her yes to God. God uses the people who say yes. Whether or not we are totally ready or totally equipped, we have a faithful God who is ready to lead us and guide us along the path of life. Today's reflection is given to us by Mark Kosko, one of our young adults who has been in the parish his entire life. He shares with us today how the yes of his life has been able to lead him closer to God.
A couple years ago, I made the decision to go backpacking for about a week up in the high Sierras. It was my first time traveling solo, so of course I experienced the natural fears that would come along with that. Not having somebody at my side, what happens if I get hurt or lost, or what if I didn't bring enough food? What if my gear fails? What if I get attacked by an animal, like a mountain lion or a bear? There's a lot of what ifs. You might be asking yourself, why would somebody want to even do this? There's something special about nature for me. I always feel closest to God the Creator in nature. It's one of the reasons why I love backpacking. Every time that I go out on a trip and I pack up my bag and I hit the trail, I grow closer to God. I like to think of it as similar to going on a road trip with a friend or traveling with a friend. You share experiences together, you spend a lot of time together, and at the end you get to know each other a lot better. You build a strong relationship with each other. There were a lot of interesting things that happened on my trip. I met another hiker who messed up his resupply for all of his food and didn't have any food for the week, and I ended up sharing a lot of my food with him. There was another day when I met a woman who was really sick, and I ended up helping her off the mountain to the nearest roads, that way she could get home. And then on another day, something really crazy happened. I met a kind of famous musician just up on the top of Muir Pass, which is out in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And me and about 2 or 3 other hikers got a private concert from him, and it was just truly unbelievable. I sang songs with strangers, just shared in the joy and awesome beauty that we're all bonded by what God had created, and that he brought all of us together, shared in the triumph of climbing a giant mountain and with complete strangers. It was so cool. And I was able to prove to myself that I could do great things, especially when I do them with God. And all this happened in my life because of the words, "Be not afraid." I have a lot of memories of John Paul II constantly saying throughout his life, "Be not afraid." And I heard that a lot as a kid, and it really stuck with me. That's something that Mary hears in today's gospel as well. She hears the words, "Be not afraid." She's getting this message from the angel, but she's very confused by it. She's being asked to do something that is beyond her ability. She does not appear to be qualified or even capable of this at all. Mary must have had her own what-ifs. What if Joseph leaves me? What if I die in childbirth? What if I put Jesus in danger? What if I get stoned to death for having a child before I'm married? She must have been terrified. Mary's response is trust in God and confidence, and she has a lot of courage to face these scary things because she realizes that it's not up to her ability, but God's ability to do these things in her. When she asks how this is even possible, the angel replies, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you." This is when we get to Mary's fiat. It's up to her to respond to God's call with a yes, because it is through God's power that these things are possible. And that is also why she doesn't have to be afraid. And how often do we feel that in our own lives, like we're being asked to do the impossible? And that's why I love that we need to be told to not be afraid. And it's because if God is asking us, then he's going to be with us, and nothing is impossible for God. I think that we have a lot of our own what ifs as well that make us scared to answer God's call. What if I'm too much of a mess to help anybody else? What if I'm not capable of this? Or what if I fall short? What if I don't have the time? What if people change how they think of me? Just like Mary, all of these what ifs are taken care of when we realize that it's up to God's power and not our own. As a community, this Advent, let's not be afraid to say yes to God's invitation. Let's be closer to him. Don't be afraid to ask questions about that ministry that has been calling to you. Don't be afraid to go to confession if you haven't gone in a while. Don't be afraid to invite somebody to Mass who doesn't go anymore. Whatever it is that God is calling you to do not be afraid to say yes. Here's something that I found helped me to say yes to God's call. Before going out on a big hike, I always say a prayer, and I ask God to be with me on my journey and that he use me to do his work. I invite you to do the same this Advent. Prepare yourself to accept Jesus into your own life by asking him to be with you every day. What area in your life is God waiting for a response? How have you seen God make the impossible possible in your life?
We truly do not need to be afraid. We have a God who is Emmanuel, a God who is with us. And with this God, all things are possible. With Christmas just right around the corner, we give to God all those things that may be heavy on our hearts still, so that we can receive with open hands a God who so desires to be close with us forever. We invite you to share this podcast with the members of your family or friends that may need to be reminded of God's power in their life this season. A quick update on our construction progress. The work on the detailed drawings to be presented to the city have been finalized and are now in for the final plan check. The process should take about 4 weeks, and once completed, the job will go for bidding. Please pray that the plan check will go smoothly and that we'll be ready to bid quickly. We are grateful for all those who have been able to contribute to the building fund thus far. We encourage you, if you have not yet contributed, to consider helping us out in this exciting time. The plan check is almost done and construction is around the corner. Gifts can be made directly to the building fund by cash, check, EFT through the St. Bonaventure website or by credit card. Huge thanks to our wonderful parishioners for all their generous support throughout all these years. Until next time, thanks for listening in to
Rebuilt and renewed.
Bringing the word home.